Hi everyone, I hope that your week is going well. Today I am going over the rubrics for your anecdotal speeches. I wanted to go over the way that I'm going to grade your speeches just so that you are prepared and you know what I'm looking for when I'm grading those speeches. So if you are logged into your Canvas page, you are going to head to rubrics. When you click on rubrics, the rubric for both of the assignments will appear. There is an anecdotal delivery rubric and an anecdotal speech outline rubric. The delivery rubric refers to the actual video that you will be filming on Flipgrid, and the anecdotal speech outline rubric refers to the outline or the Word document or PDF that you will be submitting online. So with that being said, let's go quickly over the anecdotal delivery rubric. The anecdotal delivery rubric is out of 36 points and it covers 5 different categories. So let's quickly go over the categories. So the first category is the introduction, is out of 6 points. And for this category, I'm going to be looking that you have a full introduction. If you are curious as to what the introduction should look like, please refer to the unit in which we talk about outlining and introductions and conclusions. That should give you a good idea on that. The second section that we're looking at is the body paragraphs. Again, going back to that same unit that talks about outlining, that also goes over the body paragraphs and outlining in your speech. So basically that you have your main points, that you go over your main points, that you have transitional sentences and all of that. That's out of 10 points. Your conclusion is out of 6 points. And again, your conclusion is just wrapping everything up. And if you go back to that unit, the outlining unit, it will tell you exactly the parts of the conclusion. The next 2 things that I'm going to be looking at are eye contact and vocal delivery. Now, many of you are probably thinking, what do you mean by eye contact? I'm not really looking at anyone. But we want to make sure that you're looking directly at a camera the way that you will be looking at your audience in class. So make sure that you're looking directly at the camera and that your speech is well rehearsed and that you're not reading from an outline. My best advice is to use flashcards when you're delivering your speech. That way you're not directly reading from the outline, which is extremely distracting and is going to affect your eye contact. So don't read from the outline. Definitely do not read from the screen on your computer. That will definitely get you a 0 in the marks because you are not meant to be reading your speech. You're meant to be speaking it, and it should have been rehearsed at least 5 to 7 times before you actually film yourself doing it. So make sure that you use flashcards and that you make eye contact, and definitely do not read from a paper and do not read from your screen. Lastly, for vocal delivery, I'm going to be looking at making sure that I can hear you, that you speak at a pace that can be easily understood, not too slow, not too fast, and that you are using gestures. Remember that you have to film yourself standing up so that I can see how you would use your body, your gestures, the way that we would in the classroom. So make sure that you film yourself standing up and that you use your hands to kind of like guide us through your speech. Also, make sure that you have less than 10 vocal fillers. Vocal fillers are the us that we have in our speech. Usually those come up when we don't rehearse and we are having, awkward silences and pauses. So make sure that instead of having any of that, take a sip of water, take a deep breath, pause, and then continue with your speech. Now that's out of 8 points, adding up to a total of 36 points. Now, going back to the rubrics, let's go into how I will grade your outline. So um, later on, you should be looking at the samples that I have posted online. So I have posted 2 things under the anecdotal speech, um, kind of like the little module that I have created. I have placed 2 things. One, I have created an empty template. The empty template is just basically an outline template where you can just simply plug in your information. I have created that specially for my public speaking classes so that you just plug in the information that you're going to outline, making the process a little bit simpler. So I will be putting that up, and I will also be putting a sample speech up, a speech that I wrote for one of the classes that I taught. So make sure to be looking at those 2 things to see that you are actually outlining properly. So basically what I'm going to be looking at when it comes to grading your outline is I'm going to be looking that it follows the Roman numeral format. Again, the whole section on outlining talks about that, and you will have a sample and a template that you can use to make sure that you're following that it is in 12-point font, that it is Times New Roman, double space. Make sure that you get your topic approved by me. So make sure that you submit your discussion post number 4. That's when you will be letting me know what the topic is, and I will reply to it as soon as possible, letting you know whether it's an appropriate topic for the speech or not. The next thing that I'm going to be looking at is the components. Make sure that you have transitions, that all of your speech sections are labeled, and that you have the general and the specific purpose at the top of your paper. We have already covered the general and specific purpose, so make sure that you have that at the top of your paper. Your outline is a total out of 14 points. You might be thinking, well, that's a little bit of points. I don't have to be perfect, but 14 points it definitely does add up, and it's going to affect your grade if you don't follow the guidelines properly. So with that being said, I hope that you get a better understanding of how I will be grading your speech. I am here to help you. If you have any questions on how to outline, how to rehearse for the speech, or how to deliver your speech, just let me know and I will be more than happy to help you. And I hope that you're all having a good week. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me because I would love to help you out with your future speeches. And I hope that you all are having a good day, and I will talk to you soon.